Hi, in today's video, we are going to discuss about one of the API testing tool, which is called Postman. As we all know, whenever we are developing applications, it is always important for us to uh, do testing for the code, what is that we have written. At the same time, whenever we are using API, which is called application programming interface, wherein normally these APIs are being used to communicate between two different applications. Means if you want to make two different applications to communicate and access the information, wherein we write usually APIs, right? APIs, either it can be SOAP API or RESTful API and all, everything will be created by us. So whenever we create these APIs, whether these APIs were performing well or not, that we have to be cross-checked. So for that reason, normally there is a testing which normally we do, which is web API testing, one of the tool. Of course, there were many other tools as well, but one of the prominent tool which normally used in industry is called Postman. This is a kind of tool which majorly used for web API testing, etc. All that. Now here, if we want to perform this web API testing, etc., all that, here you can see it is on the screen here, where because there are different informations which we can mention it, because whenever we are working on APIs and all, so there are different information which we have to be accessed with different applications. So there are different options will be available usually, right? Get, post, put, patch, delete, head, etc., right? So different options are being available. So whatever the options are we selecting on, we need to send and as well as download the selective information what is that we require. For example, when we are taking up put as an example over here, for example, right? So if you want to send and as well as download and all, wherein we can send and download this information, this is how usually it looks like, right? So here we can see there is a response which normally we can see over here, right? So of course this will be converted into a text file, all that, right? So if there is any text responses and all, everything, this we can see. This is something completely depend on whatever the kind of input information we have given, this we can see over this. So that's how generally this send and download options and all, everything are being used for. At the same time, there are other options even equally, because we have other options for even for patch, right? So even for delete, post, right? So get, etc. All these things are something useful when we are working on this create mock users, etc. All that, right? So this is something which is basically used for that. At the same time, along with this, if we want to invite any people who are relating to the project, because especially on this Postman API testing tool, the advantage is that we can invite people who are involving in the project, people who will be in a part of the project, and all those people can be invited here. So we can simply create their email IDs wherein we can send an invitation to them, so that we can make people to invite and make the part of the team, so that whatever the testing functionalities we are performing, everything can be seen over here, right? So this is what something which normally we do here. So this is where generally these collections and all, everything can also be used for that. Apart from that, if you want to create any kind of environments in reference to that, that we can do. Here is the API network. For example, if you want to create any public API network which is accessible to everyone, where we can create a team as well. Or else we can go for a private API network, where if you want to create a team, here you can see there is an option called create option. wherein we want to set up a team, right? So you have created a team. You can see here, set up team. That's what we have to do it. Setting up the team is what we want to make here. Just wait for a moment. It is under loading. Right. So here you can see, for example, if you want to give any name of the team name and all everything, we can see. Large team, right? So this is what the team name which I have given, of course, right? So if you want to change any kind of logos or something like, so wherein we can change the logos, all that, right? So that's what generally we can use it. At the same time, if there is any collections to be made, or if you want to discover any team members, all that, so wherein one can be done here, right? So this is something which normally through an email and all, we can send this invitation to the people so that people can see this, right? So that we can continue this in coming time, or else it can be later, right? So maybe you can consider and click on this as maybe later as well. Right. So this is where generally we have to create, right? So this is what and how we normally create this and all everything, right? So this is what it was, right? So which we have created over this, all that stuff. Along with this, if you want to create any new collections and all, here is an option where we can create. Otherwise, if you want to create a new workspace or my workspace and all, create a workspace. So wherein we have to create a blank workspace here. At the same time, if we want to use any kind of testing templates which are existingly available, any API testing, any templates we want to use and all everything, those templates can be used, right? So that is something which normally we use it for. Who can access? This is only for me, right? So right? So this is where generally there's descriptions and all, right? So for example, if you want to select any get responses, right? So you can see, right? Select any get response. This is what generally the URL will be used here. Or else if you want to do some any kind of integration and all everything, here we can connect to register or get name and all everything, and we can use it substantially. Along with this, if you want to write any kind of testing and all everything in reference to the basics, syntax testings or something like, right? So, or else if there is any kind of data migration, or if you want to perform any regression testing, something using with JSON or that, because JSON files or XML or JSON files can be used. And regression testing majorly used when there are any changes in the existing application when we are working on, based on the changes what we have made, whether how far the application is performing well, right? So in reference to the connectivity of our APIs and all everything, to know that generally this regression testing is being used here. So this is what and how usually in reference to the Postman API testing, which normally we use. This is useful for everyone. Of course, people who are working in the field of IT, either people who are working as developers or people who are working into development testing, and people who want to gather knowledge over Postman application, it is being used for them. At the same time, nowadays, even for the role of a business analyst especially, some kind of testing knowledge is becoming mandatory nowadays. Of course, I don't say that this is mandatory for all the profiles, but as industry is evolving, industry is expecting new skill sets to even for a business analyst, because nowadays it has been transforming such a way as business systems analyst, we are calling it as. Means business analyst, including system analysis experience. In that grounds, they may be asking us to have a knowledge over JSON or Postman API testing or etc. all that. So even learning for a person who is applying for business analyst opportunities, or whoever is learning business analyst, required even this as well. So by keeping that into your mind, because whatever the videos nowadays I am making, especially this technical application related videos, so this is something to provide more exposure to the people who are working on the industry, because working on a single technology or two technologies may not be useful in coming days, right? So because we need to have a knowledge on everything, that is what is something which we have to adopt. I don't say that we don't get expertise in each and every area, but at least to an understanding level, to have some knowledge over the applications will definitely helpful for any profile, especially for a business analyst profiles, to explore more about their skill set, so that if they want to reach professionally to the next level, to the higher levels and all that. So all the skill sets and all everything are being useful. So the reason why nowadays, when and wherever I get time, I'm making some videos in technical applications, especially. Of course, I have posted few other applications earlier. Even I think it is on queue. You may get, so very soon you may get those in coming days. Those videos which I have already made. Right. So this is what all about this video. If you have any questions, if you have any queries in regard to that, please reach out to the contact details, which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you.